Welcome to Kickstarter Radio 102.4. I'm your host, Lipstickpaddy. Yes, this is Crystal Age. This is actually very exciting. I'll tell you why. And it's not just because I can see acrylic standees and miniatures. Should you really be putting miniatures next to acrylic standees? Should you not just go all in on one or the other? I don't know. For me, I just prefer give me miniatures or acrylic standees, but I do have a affinity with these acrylic standees. Just make it all acrylic, please. I love it. I really do love it. I guess if you're four ways round a table, though, you know, the acrylics are not that good then, are they? Because you're going to see the thin side of them. So that's where miniatures benefit. But anyway, one of the reasons I really like this game is that you're going to be starting off on this wall around side the base. And when you defeat, and I'll use the word defeat an enemy, not kill an enemy, but defeat it, you will get them on your side. You effectively tame all the enemies you're fighting, which is really good. Now, up here it says you defeat the exotic creatures and acquire their abilities. You actually acquire the exotic creature is actually more specific. And that is really exciting because the longer you play, the more baddies you're going to get, because each area has its own difficulty, and as you find a new monster that's higher level than one you've got on your board, you're just going to change it up. So the longer you go in the game, the more different abilities and strength you're going to get as you go on. Now, the middle of the board here is what you're trying to get to. It's a little bit, it has a really interesting feeling of talisman, because when you're on the wall has its own deck. Each of the quadrant has its own deck. The center circle has its own deck. That's what's so exciting, because the fact that you have these decks means the variability in each game will be fantastic, because you're not going to see all the enemies in one game. You see, that's delicious. I love that. And the fact that when you go to each of these area, you are going to get a thematically different enemy, which is exactly what you get in Talisman, and is what I love about the legendary adventure that you go on in Talisman. And I think Crystal Age here has it here too. It does look so inviting. Now up here, the kind of showing you all these boxes, which might be a little bit intimidating. You've got the base box here on the left, the expansion. The white box is add-on deluxeification parts, ? They've got the art book there, and the black box there, I think, is the big box to shove all this in. And an art book is interesting because is the art something special? ? Hell yeah, baby! You can bet your bottom dollar it's spectacular. Let's go down, shall we? 3 days to go. I didn't even know when this Kickstarter came out. This is a bit of a ninja campaign, is it? And oh my goodness, not even reached its goal. Well, we're highlighting it right in its final days, peeps. This was way off the radar for me. It really was. What's going on? Now, the competitive nature of this is when you get to the middle to fight the baddie, you can decide to turn on the people at the table. It's a thing. Board itself looks a little bit small. I would have preferred that to be bigger. And I think these come as quadrants in the box. I mean, surely the quadrant should be the size of the box to make it really big, right? Because, you know, I've just got Tidal Blades 2 with how big that looks on the table. And when you go down to this kind of small, it's a little bit disappointing. I think that really should have a bigger presence for me. You can see the quadrants themselves have different areas. You kind of travel in these areas that are inside, and you're trying to pick up these currencies, and you can't get into the middle until you've kind of hacked your way through these statues that are blocking access to the center. What you probably wouldn't want to go in the center anyway. It has the hardest enemies to actually to get, you know, so you kind of want to level up a little bit as you go round. Yeah, art's looking very nice. I do like the art. Now, €45 is the low pledge. Now it says Guardians have got acrylic standees, but there is STL printable files included. So that is not, you're not getting minis if you do this. Now it says modular maps. That's a little bit misleading, isn't it? Because, you know, it's like, well, you can swap a quadrant for the other quadrant, so that this green one is next to, you know, it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, unless you've got different biomes, so you need to be different decks if you're going to do that and stuff like that, wouldn't you? Lots of dice. They don't seem to look anything special, you know. They seem to be better than retail, but they don't seem to have like a custom one on it or anything like that. That would have been nice. I'm assuming these standees are translucent because these pictures they're putting here don't really do them justice, in my opinion. So there's the 4 heroes. I'm not sure if they're going to bring another hero out. And these are the creatures that you're going to be taming, and then you'll be able to use the abilities. So your actual hero is kind of like a beast master. They all seem to have some kind of way of controlling all of these. And, you know, at the bottom, the number is kind of how strong they're going to be. So you've got like a level 1. Theres there, the Juggernaut. Boa is like level 2. The art does look stunning, doesn't it? Looks fantastic. I love the fact that the blue cards are all displaying the enemies on the wall, of course. And if you go into the forest, all of the card background goes towards this forest here. You can see that there is some bad level 6 peeps in here, so you better be careful, because that deck could pull out a big one. If you've even if you've got the 2 strongest level 3s from the wall and you step into the forest and then face a 6, it's like, has that kind of talisman. I've just pulled it nasty out. So yeah, there is going to be surprises coming out of this deck. It's definitely not going to be a cakewalk, and there is going to be a little bit RNG where you're not going to be able to kill this stuff, and you're going to have to retreat and stuff like that. Now, there we go. We've got we're in the wasteland now. The monsters seem to be roughly the same levels as the forest, which is a little bit disappointed. I would have preferred it if certain areas had, you know, you really couldn't go into section B if you didn't level up in A. But if section B is the same kind of level of monsters from A, then it's just continuation. Because, you know, what if you've been fighting in here? You get these level... So you've got your level 3s here, and then you go into the forest, you've got your level 5, 2 4s, and then you come in here, and it's like you're facing 3s. You're just going to steamroll these peeps. And so yeah, these 2 here are a little bit the same is in level. Crater in the middle though, this is where the really hard peeps are. You can see there's those level 9, the art all starts, the art background all goes to that, the fact that you're in the middle section, it looks really good. And you can see in the middle all these baddies that are sitting here looking fabulous. And then you've got the 4 different bosses that you could fight, which is fantastic. All right. Yeah, I like the fact you've got live counter dials. So there we go. Essentially, it's an adventure game where you're going to be going into these lands. And hang on a second, did it really show us the 4 corners then, did it? Really? It showed us middle and 2. It showed us the wall, the forest and wasteland. There's 2 more areas you've not shown us. So, what the hell is that? Oh, they're actually saying... is this what it is then? So if you buy the base game, you just get 2 sections, and that's what it's showing up here. And if you want to get 4 sections, you need to get the expansion, because that has the other biomes on it. Right, well, there you go then. You've got to come all in at 70 then at the minute. There's no way I would recommend the game playing it with just 2. You need the 4 biomes. Absolutely. Let's look at to get more heroes here as well. Lovely. And look at that guy, Golrum, the big fatty. Reminds me of the movie that I recently watched. The Demi Moore movie, The Substance, if you know what I mean there. Alright, Tundra deck. It seems to be the same level monsters as we got from the base. I guess it's another disappointing thing. A swamp deck then, same level. I think really they should have balanced it so that you had to just go in these areas. You couldn't go in a corner area if you weren't strong enough. That's what I feel. Because even if you do go in here trying to hunt down the 6s, is that going to be strong enough to go in the middle? Anyway, they're adding more to the core crater deck, which is good here. We've got, I guess your 6s, you've got the Hydra you could take. And I guess you're going to be walking around the crater to take these 9s down. And you kind of want to collect these dragons before you take on the boss. Alright, there's an all-in. Let's see what we get. Is it going to be content-based? Or is it going to be upgrade-based? Let's see, shall we? We've got the collector's rewards box. Here it is, baby. It has the book in there. It has a bag with more dice and a dice tray. Huh? You not got more cards for all of the areas? No? Let me just go up here. It's going from 70 to 120. So this is 50 euros. And it's a book that really should be an add-on, right? Dice, okay, with a bag. I can go with that. The dice tray, all right. Play mat, okay, yeah. This definitely looks better, doesn't it? And hopefully, well, it says it has 6 play mats. Does the I'm going back to the expansion here. How many heroes on that expansion? 4. So really there should be 4 boards. What's going on down here? Hey, there should be 8 playmats. That's a little bit weird, isn't it? Because if you get the expansion, come on, that's no bueno. Sleeves are in here, which is great. And STL of the standees are perfect. That's what I go for. Yeah, standees. So this picture's a little bit misleading then. You need to print those out if you want. There isn't actually a miniature pledge here, peeps. But you do get the STLs if you ever want to go into the niche of 3D printing. Well, if you get the game, you know, you potentially do have that in where you, if you wish, sometime in the far-flung future, you could say, I'm going to upgrade Crystal Age with my 3D printer because, yeah, I could just get minis for it. Yeah. I can understand you want more dice if you can win 4-player, obviously. And, yeah, they have this silly pledge, which is design a hero and all that stuff. Oh, these dice then are specific to roll when you're in these areas. Right, okay. All making pure sense now. Right, so I guess this is the four. This is all of it together then, and it does tell you here that certain areas are going to have different abilities. So you're probably going to go in the forest to get a healing enemy, and depends on what kind of magic you want to get is where you need to go. So potentially you kind of want to build from these areas. All right. Yeah, there's PvP mode in here, not just the center. It's saying here you can confront each other to get the power of corruption. I'm pretty sure this is in the center, isn't it? Pay special attention to the build of your opponents to get the best creatures and abilities to defeat them. Become the new Lord of Corruption. Okay. Well, I think your picture's misleading showing miniatures on. And you've done right by just doing standees. You could have done some more of beautiful shots of your standees to make the art stand out. You've got a bloody art book, for example. You know, get more of that out on the page. Also, it looks like you've slimmed it down by only giving us 6 heroes when there's clearly 8 across the 2. Colour me confused here. Which heroes are we missing? I need to go up here. Is it really 6 heroes? It shows 4. Oh, it's 2 heroes and 2 bosses is what you're getting. Dear me. So there is 6. They're not... See how misleading this is? Well, that guy, that would have been nice to be that guy. With his hat. Put your hand in his stomach. All right then. So we're going on. Yeah. We can sit at the 120 then. All right. Yep. So there it is then. It just seems a little bit of a jump, doesn't it? Surely there's add-ons to get stuff. I mean, for me, an add-on would be, can I get a bigger tiles? So yeah, I think it's much nicer with the playmats, of course. Again, this is going to have beautiful art from the enemies that you're taking. You can only hold 3 in your pack. Miniatures stretch goals. All Crystal Age acrylics can be unlocked as PVC miniatures with quite affordable stretch goals. These miniatures will be available inside the boxes at no extra charge. So you will have acrylic and PVC miniatures. Huh? All the way down the page, you've been saying STL. Like you've got to print them. What's this? Colour me confused, colour me confused. So you are getting the minis? Alright. They've unlocked... Oh, you've got to unlock the miniatures. And the game has not been... It's not even funded yet. So... There's no chance of miniature anything. These were all Kickstarters. Oh. Well, peeps, there we are. So they're kind of showing you here the standees. I think they look great. Yeah. In this picture, they seem to be also showing you the playmats. It's true. They're showing the game with the stretch goals that you can't even see. Ooh. So it's a little bit unfortunate, but you know, as is, you are getting the game. As I said from the beginning, I would have just preferred to have standees, acrylic standees. I think they look boss. They look fantastic. It's a giant W for me. And, you know, you could definitely come in here on the €70 pledge to get the 4 corners of it. That's where I feel. But again, I think they've done that specifically where all the corners have similar levels because everyone's starting off on the corners, aren't they? Yeah, I think they could have done it where the inner part of the region on the corner was the easiest stuff. And then if you go to the inner part of the corner, it's harder in the middle bit. So maybe they could have pulled the deck into 2 to make it feel like that. You could just game it yourself to do that. Just put just half the decks with the easy ones in, and then make sure that you gamify it. You house rule it. I don't know what it is with these adventure games. There's always some kind of house rule that you bring in to adjust the game to your liking. Anyway, peeps, there we go. Crystal Age. It's a very exciting project for me because it has that kind of talisman feel where you've got decks for the different areas. The fact that you're collecting creatures then to level up your hero and you use those creatures in battle. You're going to be getting stronger as you get to the middle, of course, and then take out the big baddie and then decide if you want to kill everybody to become the ultimate winner. I think it looks really, really cool. I love the fact that your character is leveling up throughout the whole game, so you're getting loads of different things. I also like the fact that, you might have to go around to get, if you want to collect the 6, that might make you want to go to all of the 4 corners to get the 6 monsters before you go in the center. So you definitely might be adventuring around and all that good stuff. Just get rid of the miniatures and don't even talk about STLs and put stuff on the stretch goals that are like more content, more monsters in each of these areas, and give me a soundtrack and I think if I was going to add anything as an expansion here, it would be a shop where you could potentially buy stuff and give some accessories to your character to make them a little bit stronger than they are here. But as is, they've gone for an expansion which is all accessories, and that is a little bit disappointing, because when it comes to these adventure games with all the decks, what you want is to get more content, to get more monsters in those decks, to increase the variability of the game. But hey, I feel like I'm just talking into the wind here because it's 3 days left. But hey, if it doesn't get successful, come back again, Crystal Age, when you've got a shop expansion, because that then notches it up, more excitement, where your hero can become even stronger. You know, specifically have shops that give your heroes upgraded armor or an upgraded weapon, something like that. All right, peeps, there we go. Crystal Age, super interesting project. There's lots of cool there. You've got to fight your way through the information on the page, but after coming through it back to the top now, I really am excited for it. But I don't think it's going to get pledged. But if it comes back round on crowdfunding, let's say next year, hopefully they've got more interesting expansions, which are, you know, I want to update my pledge if there's like a shopping experience where you can buy stuff. You could put the shop in between each of the corners, and it would be great, wouldn't it? Especially if each section had a unique shop. That would be great, because you might spend more time in these areas. Because if you're level 3 and you come across a level 1 creature, instead of, you know, getting it, you should be able to just kill it and bring it in for gold. So you're kind of monster hunting to power your leader up. So you're not just collecting creatures, but you're also leveling up your character. That's my best advice for the expansion, if you're going to do it, Crystal Age. And I'll be here when you come back. And it's a little bit of a shame that how the hell did this go under the radar? Well, there you go, peeps. Hope you enjoyed this little video. Give a thumbs up if you do. And please think about subscribing if you like the content. And if you love crowdfunding games, why don't you take a little minute of your time, check out my page, go to the playlist, and look at the special programs, because there's lots of fun videos that you might like around the whole hobby of board games in the crowdfunding space. So thank you so much for watching. I'm your host, Lipstickpaddy. You take care, stay safe, and bye for now.